Welcome to Off the Record. It's Alex, Mike, and Quan, and we are with one of our special guests, Darnerien McCants. Darnerien, welcome back to the show, man. How's it going?
I am well. Thank you for having me back. And can I shout out that I'm
So
on my
we,
Facebook Live too? And let everybody on my Facebook Live how they get to your podcast so I can tell them. Just go to where y'all located.
they can go. Tell everybody they can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher.
Okay. And just look for the OTR.
Tell them search Off the Record.
Off the Record. So all my people on Facebook go to Off the Record and then y'all can listen in because I got these earbuds in. I know y'all can't hear the questions. So Off the Record, Apple 5, what's it, Apple 5? What'd you say? Apple?
Apple
Search
Podcast,
Spotify. All the
Spotify,
podcasts. Just find them.
or
Off the
or
Record, OTR.
or tell them go to Facebook and search for Off the Record, and they can watch it with us.
Oh yeah, Facebook, Off the Record. Y'all already on Facebook, so I got a couple people looking at it already. So we're gonna talk about the NFL Washington football team.
Yeah, man. One of your former employers, man. So just yesterday, the Washington Post released a story. 15 women have accused the Washington Redskins of a number of sexual harassment incidents. So the Redskins always find themselves in situations, and this is one of the worst situations. And so, one, thanks for coming on and giving us some insight into the organization. But there's a number of things levied against the organization, man, such as the Redskins HR department only having one employee, executives standing at the bottom of stair steps at the Redskins corporate offices, looking up women's skirts, sleeping with female reporters for stories. You have three minority owners.
The reporter is sleeping with them for stories. That's the only one I heard of about the reporters. I was like, they ain't played the game right. They didn't change the game in 2020.
You got three minority owners trying to sell their stakes in the football team, man. I mean, it sounds like it's a mess. So when you were there, like, did you see, like, was there this culture of sexual harassment, foolishness? I mean,
well, I can't say the sexual harassment. So I can say and speak on only what I know.
Sure.
And far as the hearsay. Mm-hmm. So far as the culture of the business, I'm gonna say it's been like that because when I've gone over there, you know, the locker room is tight, and then everything else outside of it is messy. Mm-hmm. But like I said, you know, business starts from the top and rolls down. Now I can say, far as like I said, the 2020 group, they messing up, man. And now I have to say I'm being facetious because you know it's 2020 and anything you say can and will be held against you. I'm being facetious when I say this, that the 2020 report is messing up, man. Like one time we had an all players meeting. It was strictly players. Literally everything we said verbatim was in the paper the next day.
Wow.
Now, how does that happen? If you give the right person, some brains, they'll tell you everything you want. So what happens is some of these reporters, especially, they started leveraging the beauty and feminine energy against these males, these young males with high testosterone, to get stories. So I was just like, how the hell do we have an all players meeting? And literally, I'm talking about it was quotes in the paper from when we was in the room because we was getting our tails kicked, and some of the veterans was like, "Hey, man, this is what we need to do." And I'm talking about verbatim. And I was like, it's only one way somebody gonna go out there and start telling what's going on. You know, and especially like I say, we young, high testosterone. The reporters started looking good, and they started sending more and more females. That's part of the game, man. And now, they didn't get their way or somebody burnt them. And I mean like in the sense of, you got yours, you ain't give me mine. And so they started snitching. They started telling what the situation is. But this ain't the first time. Then they say they had something in like a while ago, but they was at the island or something, and they took passports and all that craziness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was 2009.
Was it that far? That was that long ago?
There's a story that the team took cheerleaders to Costa Rica and then took their passports and had them parading around naked and all that stuff.
No, I'm going. I can only speak once again on that behalf of more the cheerleaders, just because since I was there, the organization that part of the organization is technically separate. Now, like obviously I wasn't there during the events, but everything that they've done that I've ever seen has been completely strictly professional. Like people don't understand how hard those cheerleaders actually work, man, because you got to be beautiful and an athlete. Because like I said, they jump in, jump out of clothes, switch scenes, and it's amazing how fast they move. And then the people who I know run it, they keep it professional just so they don't mess up, because when you mess their brand up as being, a slutty brand, it's hard to get that back. It's real hard to get that back, and then it's hard to be respected, and it's hard to put your brand out there, because considering you're dealing with women, and most of those women that I've met and come in contact with are business professionals, so it wouldn't be in their best interest to be, slutted out, because they don't make no money. Like it's more for the fame in that dancing sense than it is for the loot. Like, you playing ball, you guaranteed your, $400,000 or $500,000 check. But you're a cheerleader or a dancer, shoot, from what I heard, they only get paid like $60 a session or whatever they come through, and then they got to try to make their money in the back end. But I'm pretty sure, like I said, somebody had to take the fall, so you get paid to take the fall. You know how it is.
I mean, if there's a woman, a female reporter, or just a woman in the organization, and she's sexually harassed, I mean, what do you think would happen if she reported it to senior management or whoever at the organization? Like, do you think there's a culture there where that would be respected, taken seriously, or do you think it's just kind of like, yeah, whatever?
So, like I said, within that world, you have the boys will be boys. But ever since the Me Too, it's changed. The boys can't be boys. You see what I'm saying? So now, personally, like I said, I was raised by 4 women for the most part, so it's always been a respect. I've never had an issue personally or really necessarily seen it. But like I say, the hearsay, come around training camp, and all you around is dudes, people start looking real good. That normally don't look good. You know what I mean? You start looking at them like, man, her ankles look real good right about now. That testosterone, you on testosterone for 2 and 3 weeks, and anybody and everybody start looking good. So, you know what I mean? Some guys probably say some things they probably shouldn't say. But now, since 2020, they like, nah, you can't say and speak to me any kind of way, regardless of who and what position your job is, because now they have a power, now they have a leverage. So, guys got to be aware of that, as well as the women. I'm not going to, not to, like I said, God, watch how I say this. You know what I mean? Like, to an extent, don't put yourself in a position. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think some women, they try to get that attention. And then when it's too much attention, or the attention from the wrong person, or the attention that they don't like I can tell my boys. And I'm like, look here, if she like you, it's called flirting. If she don't like you, it's called sexual harassment. It's the same thing from our perspective, but not from the woman's perspective. So we gotta be real careful. You know what I mean? If anything, I was in that circumstances, shoot, just play ball, man. Do your job and go home. There's plenty of what they say, plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah, I mean, if you approach a woman and you want to talk to her, she likes you, cool. If you approach her and she doesn't like you, you keep it moving. If you keep going at her, that's a whole different situation. Some of these women are talking about men cornered them in certain places in the facility, wouldn't let them leave. And they're talking about from the top down, from around Dan Snyder's inner circle, where, pretty powerful people in the organization were able to get away with really whatever they wanted. And there was nobody that they could go to and report this stuff. And I don't know how, I know that happens, because that happens in every industry, it seems like, for women.
Very much so. Oh yeah. Like I said, can we cuss on this? I don't know if I should be saying this on my Facebook, but you know what I mean? Like Chris Rock, I'm gonna use Chris Rock quote. He said, "Women get handed meat every day. Hey, you want my meat? Hey, you want my meat? Hey, you want my meat? Do you want my meat? You look like you want some meat. You know what I mean? And dudes do that. You know what I mean? Like what was the one show? I think they showed the one show where the lady just walked down the street in New York, and about the cat calls. She got cat called over 100 times walking down the block of New York. So unfortunately, it's part of that culture that we have to get rid of, that we have to be aware of, because it's not cool. Because like I said, eventually it's gonna be your daughter. Eventually, it may be your mom. Eventually it may be your sister. Like, do you want that pressure on them? And then, yeah, unfortunately, some guys think that playing, oh, she playing hard to get, I got to play a little bit more aggressive. She said no, so I mean, I got to go harder. And like I said, to an extent, we got to get out of that, because I know you said no one time, I'm leaving the other way. And he was like, why did you try? I'm like, try what? You said no. I don't play them games. I didn't see too many brothers get caught up in the system off of sexual assault or rape charges. You said no, that don't play them games with me, because you say no, I'm nice to meet you, and I'm gone.
I mean, if this is all, if all this is happening, is this just a further indictment on how bad of a team owner Dan Snyder is? You explained some of your situation, your dealings with him on the last episode. I mean, sounds like he's a pretty bad owner.
And then y'all saw it in the paper. Well, it was only like a week later, wasn't it? It was like,
yeah, I mean,
hey, like, yeah,
man, I said it.
McCants might have been telling the truth a little bit.
Yeah. I said, man, it's funny. I said we did the show. You came on and spoke about the things that you encountered when you was on the team, and the time, and like I said, y'all bringing everything, and I'm like, damn, literally the week after.
Yeah,
all this stuff comes out. You know what I mean?
So like what they say, what they say, the truth always gonna come to light.
Mm-hmm.
But my personal opinion, I think it's part of the billionaires boys club. So when you're a billionaire, you almost become untouchable. But now, if the other billionaires don't like you, it's always gonna be. Think about all the political people who tried to come out, and then all of a sudden they got all these sexual harassment charges.
Yeah.
If you keep putting, that lean on the organization, even like the dude, what was the guy from the Clippers? Everybody knew he was racist. You know what I mean? It was actually it was his personal call. Like, the part I don't like is when you start putting personal people, business people, personal business. If that's how you feel, everybody already knew it. It's just fact. Now we took a personal call and it made it public, and that's what I don't like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you already knew, get them out of there. You see what I'm saying? They know what's going on. Everybody knows. You can go down the list of entertainment in Hollywood. They know what's going on. But when you're part of that Billion Boys Club, you see what I'm saying? They become untouchable. So everybody around them fall, but they don't. But you can see, obviously, that's the culture he allows. Because if he didn't, we wouldn't be hearing anything about it.
You know what? To jump in, that's the interesting part about the whole story, because the two people who haven't been named yet in any of the, I guess, harassment claims is Snyder and Bruce Allen. But everybody underneath him, mm-hmm. their name has been mentioned. So
yeah,
I found that to be interesting. So, Alex, I know we were kind of going through the story last night. What was the timeline? Was it between
2006 to 2019, which is that's almost Snyder's entire tenure.
Right. So that's crazy. So, D-Mac, my question for you:
the facts don't lie, the stats don't lie.
My question for you is this: like, all right, one of the things in the story was, as Alex mentioned early on, that they only had one HR professional working in the office, right? Were you guys aware of that? Was it ever, I mean, typically when there's one HR professional in working for any organization, it's a holdup in something, whether it's my check, whether it's, I mean, I need this paperwork and it ain't gotten to me yet. Were you guys aware that it was just one person there?
Like I said, when I was there, no, I think it was pretty solid. He was new, so it was 19. What, he came in 1999. I was there 2001. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the stuff was already preset. You know what I mean? Like far as shortages and people looking crazy. Yeah, people will always look crazy. People always look stressed. I'm like, yo, this is sports, man. Like, why y'all look so stressed? But I think if, like I said, if you look at the stats, I want to say 40 people walked off the job one day because they weren't getting paid, or the organization was so toxic that, and then you get the rumor of people saying that, like, they got interns and jobs opening and people don't even want to work there. You know what I mean? Right now, you can see the league. Before, the league used to come to the Redskins and get that check and then bounce. You don't see no players coming here no more. even though if he'll write the check,
Mhm.
but he's not coming here.
Yeah.
And I mean, them players are still, you know, them big time players ain't come here because they used to use it. They be like, yo, we go to Redskins, get paid, and then go to an organization where we can win. Like that was the rumor. Like each team has a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Like each team got a little something about them. Like if you go to this team, you get paid here. If you go to this team, you can win here. If you go to this team, your career over.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like each organization has a different thing about them in the league, and that's, I don't think it's changed too much because those teams who were winning, you know, they still win, and you know the teams that win don't pay their players.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Then the teams that are losing, oh yeah, nah, that's come on now.
It's like, is it something to where like like players like they may play on another team, and then just all of a sudden where they get the news, like you know they may have to go to Washington. Like, what is it like in the sense of in the mind of a player, like getting that information? Like, is it like, damn, I got to go? It's like the same thing. Like if you get the news that you got to go to Buffalo or like Cleveland, you know, it's like,
well, it's tough because I know my rookie year, my agent called me. He was like, "Hey, great news! You don't have to go to Europe." And I was like, "I wasn't asked to go to Europe." And who said I was going to go to Europe? If you did tell me I had to go.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so with the business, listen to, like I said, it's a system. Listen to the system. You are a product. You are a piece of meat. His value is this, and we can trade him for this. That's all it is. It's still a stock market, dude. Like I said, when they call it the $1 million slave, that's what it is. That's why you can't see or say nothing. The people who speak up for the organization, whoever that face is, you know what I'm saying, for any organization, you know, they gonna speak up for it because they getting a check for it. Unfortunately, with the business, I'm a tap dance if you write the check. You see what I'm saying? That's the reality of the business. Hey, if he start writing checks, I guarantee you my tone probably change.
Okay.
Hey, the Redskins, man, it's a great organization, man. I don't know what you're talking about. But for those who ain't getting the check, you know what I mean? Are they scared of the truth, or do they want to hide it? You know what I mean? When these kids come out of college, what was it? I think the Zion thing just came out. How he got paid $400,000 to go to Duke.
Oh yeah, that we do that. That what?
Right, but that's the business though.
That's a business.
Like they keep trying to make it so wholesome. They keep trying to make out these businesses so wholesome, from politics to sports and entertainment. It's all crooked, man.
Yeah.
Whoever got the money, that's where we going. Kentucky, Louisville, you ain't getting 5-star athlete after 5-star athlete to go out to Louisville, to go out to Kentucky. No, you're going out there because you're getting a check. You know what I mean? And that's what the HBCU surge is right now. Because that's like, okay, if I ain't getting no check, then I'm going to go to HBCU.
You mentioned Donald Sterling earlier with the Clippers and the NBA. Sterling's racist behavior and discriminatory behavior was well documented and really in criminal law. It was well documented in LA. But once it became public,
criminal law, man.
It was well documented for 30 years. But once it became public to the general public, NBA wasted no time in getting him out of there. They forced him to sell. He's $2 billion richer. There are people calling for the NFL to force Daniel Snyder to sell the Washington Redskins. Regardless if he had direct knowledge or not, he's the head man in charge. He's supposed to set an example and to clean up the organization. Do you think that the NFL would do like the NBA did, forcing Sterling out and force Snyder to sell the team?
No, like I told you, they all good old boys club, man. They not gonna touch him because Snyder gonna lawyer up, and I wouldn't be surprised if legally, if he has legal rights to the name, it will be the Redskins. Right now, it's public opinion. That all he did was did the right PR move of saying, hey, we're gonna retire the name, and then put his lawyers on it. We're gonna retire the name. Oh, you pulling out? Well, I'm gonna find somebody that's gonna pull in. That's all he's gonna do, man. Like the dude, he gonna do things his way. Like I say, he's part of the Billionaires Boys Club. They do what they want to do. Now it's just a matter of when I can get it done and how I'm gonna get it done and who I got to pay. You see what I'm saying? Like that's all they do. They all well protected because of the money. Only time you get in trouble is if you help out black people, as you see with Kraft. You see what I'm saying? Kraft help out Meek Mills, and then all of a sudden he get caught with a $5 prostitute. Come on now. That's the setup.
Yeah. Well, I got a question. All right, so let me ask you a question. Has it ever been a story or anybody, any type of player, man, that has ever took some type of revolt, when it comes to an owner or even when it comes to Snyder, just, maybe something to where it's like, yo, I have the money, I'm a player that I've made X amount of millions of dollars. So it's to the point where I don't even care what anybody else says. Have you ever seen it, or have you ever heard any stories to where, like I said, a player just came out and just pretty much just trashed the owner blatantly? Or
No, because like I said, no. I can tell, like I said. So when it comes to ownership and speaking of owners, generally, like I said, guys know the business. You can't burn the bridge. You burn the bridge, you're done. You're blackballed. It's over. So that's what keeps the silence. The money keeps the silence. I can tell you, one of the I'm not gonna say no name. One of the Hall of Famers straight up said, he said, what one of the Hall of Famers basically said, he was told, or he was in a meeting where the guy basically said, I don't pay my players because they don't win. Another situation where a guy was like, yo, I was drafted here. This organization will never win. Like this is 2001, 2002, 2003. I was drafted here. When I can get my contract, I'm leaving. I don't care how much money they're paying me. You see what I'm saying? And like, ironically, these two players went to other organizations and won Super Bowls. So, like I said, so they already knew something and already could tell that the organization would never win. And then, right, like I said, I think right now the organization is fan base is down to 60,000, and that's, I'm pretty sure that's probably guessing.
It's pretty fucking bad.
Hey, D-Mac, how many other owners you think might have to worry about, what Snyder's worrying about right now? You think this could be going on with other teams in the league, as far as like the cheerleaders and stuff like that?
Well, like I said, one, it's not that many organizations that actually have cheerleaders. That's one. Two, like I said, they actually separate entities. You will never really come encounter with them together. Now, as far as ownership, I'm pretty sure they can do whatever they want to do. But like, as far as the regular players, the scouts, the people in the office, they're really not together that often. But as far as the other businesses, you daggone right. I told you, man. I told you that's part of the culture. Unfortunately, that's what has to change. And I'm speaking to the players. The players have to be aware that they're susceptible, not the owners. The owners, like I said, you're the fall guy. Oh yeah, you did it. Go ahead, cut them. Fine them. You know what I mean? Like, apologize or do whatever. You see what I'm saying? So like, you got to be aware of what's happening. Like I said, the movement is now. Women have leverage and power. You can't go out and, like I said, be the boys. What was the dude down in Indianapolis? He got caught with cocaine and prostitution. Ain't nothing happened with him.
Nothing, not a damn thing. They're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Did he even get a fine? No. And like, in reality, like I said, right now it's all allegations, right? Nothing has been proven. Nobody's been convicted. So anybody can say anything. But like I said, it could be coming from the top of somebody else being paid. And I'm not saying all, and I'm not trying to deny anything of what these allegations are from these women, but I've watched and seen the business. All I got to do is pay you 10 stacks to say somebody did it. You get your 10 stacks, it goes into public opinion, and nothing of it is true, and it will never, ever go to court. But now public opinion has this view on you. You see what I'm saying? Now it's a matter of public opinion. Hey, or like I said, they want them out. When Snyder first got in the business, none of the owners liked him. Nobody in the city liked him. You know what I mean? Like all the other businesses, the basketball, nobody liked him. So who's to say they ain't, looking at, look, man, this is our opportunity to get him out of here. You know what I mean? Like, people bank on the Redskins or the Washington football team because it brings money to the area. If y'all not winning, ain't no money coming, man. You messing up. You know what I'm saying? Or even the NFL, dog. You had one of the biggest franchises, and now you ain't making no money. Now we need to get you out.
Okay, yeah, I was getting ready to ask you. You think somebody got a vendetta against him because, like, all this stuff is coming down like right after each other, like it's almost like somebody out to get him.
Well, like I said, if the billionaire boys don't want you in it, they will get you out of it. They just got to find a way to get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, like I say, Snyder seemed like a gangster boy. He ain't been touched at
So
all. You see what I'm saying? Like if he gangster with it, they not gonna touch him. And then, like I say, he lowering up ASAP. But vendetta. Shoot, when you treat people a certain way, brother, the world round, it's gonna come back to you.
From what I heard, it's not too many good things I've heard about Snyder. So.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't think these women are lying. Like if they like,
oh no, like you said,
yeah, when women come out and accuse somebody, like they're ridiculed also. Like if you look at the comments on social media for these women coming out, like these women are getting dragged through the mud. So, like, I don't think that they're lying, and a number of them
that's part of the culture that we have to change.
Right. A number of them have NDAs because they either went to court or settled out of court with the Washington Redskins, and so like their names can't be mentioned in the report. But if they Snyder's been a problem before this thing became a story yesterday. Like he's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't surprise me at all if there aren't similar stories around the rest of the NBA.
Yeah, I mean NFL, yeah, but the thing for me is the reason why I mean it's I'm not questioning it as much as because if this was players, if it came out that this was some players that was on in Costa Rica with some cheerleaders on women, they would be trying to fry these dudes right now. So I personally I think that something like this doesn't come out as in depth as it is without some truth to it. But D-Mac, I want to ask you. So you were drafted by Schottenheimer, and
yes, sir.
So, and he came, if I'm not mistaken, he was coming off a winning season with the Skins. He was doing okay with the Skins.
I think that year we went 8-8.
Okay.
I think we went 8.
That's okay.
We lost the first 8, won the backside.
And then year,
Coach Schottenheimer was going to win. We was going to win. Yeah. He was putting together the pieces. He had to deal with, what he had to deal with, but he was putting it together.
Something the Giants don't do.
8-8 sounds about pretty good for the Redskins. So yeah.
So my question is,
thank you, Brandon.
I do remember at that time when he was fired, like it was kind of a shock because it did seem like the team was moving in the right direction. Did that come down?
Well, I'm gonna tell you
because of the toxic.
Like I said, from my perspective, with Coach Schottenheimer was a man all day. So my first coach, I'm gonna tell you my Coach Schottenheimer stories that stick in my head. First off, when I was playing, I was bull job. So I'm from HBCU. I'm Delaware State. These people not keeping me, regardless. I'm a 5th round draft pick because one coach already told me, they cut 5th round draft picks. This is a coach telling me this within the first 2 weeks. Yeah, they cut 5th round draft picks. Okay, you know what I mean? I got 90,000 and I got my Volvo. I got 90,000. I got my degree. I'm about to go teach after y'all stop playing. Coach Schottenheimer pulled me aside personally, man to man. He said, "Look at D-Mac, I like you. It's the reason why I drafted you." He said, "You remind me of Ernest Bynum the way you work. Now, when you walked in this building, you had a black suit on with a red tie. I drafted you because your character. I can go find a wide receiver anywhere. So I need you to play football. And if you don't let your balls drop, son, then I'll cut you." So right there, that's my first story. That's a man. He talked to me like a man. I understood like a man. And then I started balling. And then the next game, he was like, "That's how I need you to play." Now, I didn't play that year, but they had me on the back burner just in case. I think Westbrook got hurt. The next phase, we had a team meeting. He literally got everybody in the room that was in the building. I'm down to the janitors. He was like, "It is your fault if we don't win because you holding on to information that I need to know." So as a man, he got everybody down to the janitors by saying, "Hey, I need y'all to tell me what's going on. We need everybody in this building on the same page. Not just the team, Not just the staff, not just the players. He said to everybody in the building. He said, because when we win a Super Bowl, everybody get a ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, so that's a man. You see what I'm saying? And then, like I said, the last story is you can't talk to him any kind of way. So if you feel you can talk to him any kind of way, he a man. Like I said, you disrespect me. I'm not, as a man, I don't have to disrespect you. We can go back and forth, but what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of going back and forth, he left. And then I can tell you, Mr. Coach Spurrier's situation. Coach Spurrier on April 3rd tells us, hey, we're going to see you in about 2 weeks. In 3 days, we get a on television. Oh yeah, Spurrier retired. So I call up his son, Bubba. Bubba is our position coach. Personal boom. Bubba, your dad retired, man. He just said we was going to see him. What's going on? Oh, hold on. Let me call you back. Hey, Dad's on a golf course. Dad didn't know he retired. So understand the media manipulation. That's why, like, when I say certain things, it's because I've experienced it. So even with myself, all of a sudden, Darnerien McCants doesn't want to play special teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, where y'all getting this information? I played special teams in high school. I played special teams all through college. Matter of fact, I was a special teams guru in college. And then I played special teams every year I've been playing football. I don't like coming off the field. I wasn't getting enough time on offense the way I wanted anyway. I don't like sitting on the sideline. I suck at defense, so I'm a receiver. I'm a special teams guy. All of a sudden in the paper, hey, McCants, he doesn't want to play special teams. And I'm like, where are y'all getting this information? Because y'all sure enough ain't get it from me. Next thing you know, McCants is cut because he doesn't want to play special teams. He got a contract. And that, dog, they paid me $3 million. That ain't no money. It's more money than I had, but it wasn't no 13 million. It wasn't no 14 million.
Right.
And now suddenly I don't want to play special teams. But that's the media manipulation. That comes from the top. And I heard where it came from because, like I said, when I went to Philly, it was like, oh, you can't learn the offense. And I'm like, what you mean I can't learn the offense? I played every year. Oh, well, you weren't that smart. What smart in what? I've played every year. I may not play how you wanted me to play. I may not play how you liked. But at no point in time could you deny me from being on that field. Because if that's the case, how did I last 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of the media manipulation. Other rumor I got back from a reporter that Spurrier was actually trying to make me the number 2. But guess what? The people above him, like, nah, he's a 5th round draft pick. No, we're going to keep our number 2 in there. I think Raw was 1st round draft pick. They're going to keep him in there because of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get our money out of him. And then Raw left him.
Mm.
So that's when it becomes the business. It becomes down to that media manipulation. Like, hey, we're going to put out what we want to put out. And that's why I was being facetious in the beginning that the new reporter is not playing the game right. They actually reported something that actually happened. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not just going on with the buy-in of saying, hey, this is what's happening. I know, because at no point in time did anybody ask me what was going on, because daggone Danny Smith took me off all the special teams. I'm like, dog, I don't do it the way you do it. But guess what? I get the job done. So then when I took my ass to Philly and I cooked his ass, I was like, Danny, man, you ain't never put me on the field. I ain't got no control of that. If you don't put me in the field, I can't ball. I was daggone 6'4", 210, ran a 4.3 down the sideline. Who gonna stop me? Your biggest DB is 180 pounds.
Yeah. It seems as if when it comes to that, the particular culture of the Redskins, right? And just like you said, Schottenheimer, that you had a coach that was a man's man, that was hard nosed, getting your shit, but also let you know when you do right, and fair is fair type coach. And it seems as if like you said, it was 8-8. Yeah, that's not good, but it's not bad. But at the same time, like you said, the players were close, people were working hard. But it seems as if whenever it's almost trying to get to that hump, man, the Redskins always cut themselves short. Because when it comes to winning, like, you can always kind of see it. You can always see the players, the players work hard. As a Redskins, as a Washington fan, you know what I mean? The players, you always see time in, time out, like the players, they work, you know what I mean? And it's not easy to go out there and do what they, what needs to be done. But I mean, why is it that? And it's like, I mean, is it something to where like, yo, it's the head of the head? Like,
That's the cult, dog. It's not a winning culture. Like I said, this person I reference to is a Hall of Famer. When he said this to me, he was only 23. He was used to winning. He straight up told me, like I said, he said, dog, I'm out of here. He told me to leave as well. He told me to go to the AFC. He said, dog, if you go to the AFC, you won't ball out. Mm-hmm. This is what this man told me at 23, but I think I was maybe 21, 22. I'm only a couple years younger than him. And I didn't get it. I didn't understand the business because I was lied to. I was saying, hey, be coachable, do what the coaches ask you to do, and everything will work itself out. Mm. If I understood business then, or if I was told, no, this is business and not football, I may have had a different mentality. That was one of the reasons why I stayed. Because I'm like, oh, no, this is how it's going to work. Hey, I'm getting along with everybody, everything. No, this young man straight up said, he said, man, I don't give a damn how much they pay me. I'm not staying here. This is a loser organization. So, like I said, if you see a winning organization, what's the difference? You see what I'm saying? Like teams that get to the playoffs year in and year out. People don't understand that's hard. To have a winning season in the NFL or any sport, that's hard. Let alone go to the championship like Boston, like even with the Eagles when they had McNabb, what they went like 11 times. Like that's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, we can't win. But dog, to have a winning season year in and year out and go to the championship year in and year out, that is hard. But I'm going to say, from my personal opinion, it starts at the top and putting people in a position to be successful. Talking to one Hall of Fame coach, he was like, all I did was, he was like, he understood management. I'm going to bring and get the best out of what you do. You can't fit, I can't fit you in my mold because you don't fit my mold. But I'm going to see what you do. And that was what Schottenheimer said. He knew I was a downfield guy. He was like, when we put you in the game, I want you to just go straight. That's what I did my whole life. Run straight, run force, catch the ball, score. My job was easy. I knew my job.
Yeah.
Third down, touchdown. That was it. I wasn't no first round guy. I wasn't no first guy. That didn't want it. I'd like to play football. I love the locker room and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the difference from the winning organizations, from the top down, what's the difference? Steelers. People, talking about Tomlin and all that, but they still winning. People looking for Super Bowls, it's not that easy, man. It's hard to have a winning season. And then, of course, when, the money ain't right. Because, like I said, we're winning championships, winning organizations, Steelers, Green Bay, what's the boys up north, Boston, New England. They don't pay nobody. Who on their contracts got major contracts, like a Chiefs. What's that boy just got $450 million, something crazy?
Yeah,
Mahomes.
Mahomes. Yeah.
So
my homie.
So Snyder had been there for what, 2 years before you got there, right? When you walked in
like I said, he got it in 99, right? So
yeah, I think so. Yeah. So when you walked in the building, like, yo, did you feel like, I know it was new, like you was a rookie or whatever, but did you just feel like, yo, there's something off in here? Like this culture, it just don't feel right. Or was it just like, yo, I'm new, whatever, I'm just going with it? Because I know on the last show you spoke about how the difference between when you went from Washington to Philly and then even your time with the Ravens, like, did you recognize that off the top?
No, because like I said, I was green, man. I'm a suburban kid, had a good upbringing. You know what I mean? Nobody exposed me to business. Nobody talked to me about business. So to see the death in culture, I never exposed it. I was never exposed to it. You know what I mean? Now I didn't have the best, the greatest coaches at Delaware State, but you're learning. You know what I mean? I'm a young man, so I'm sitting there like I accept my present time, present. You know what I'm saying? Like I never looked at, okay, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So like I said, when this dude told me that, that he was never coming back to this organization, no matter what they paid him. And I'm like, yo, why, man? I'm like, cuz they love you here. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the sprinkles on top. I wasn't looking down in the bottom like, okay, what is really going on? But I wouldn't know what to look for. But like I said, when you go back and after the fact, like I said, I had coaches straight up tell me, nah, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Hey, well, you know they cut 5th round draft choices. Like, these are the coaches that's supposed to be coaching me. These are the coaches that's supposed to be on my team. And this is what you tell me? Like, how do I have, if I had any doubt, how do I have, now what should I have? Where's my confidence if I got coaches telling me that I'm not even gonna be on the team, that I shouldn't do certain things? You see what I'm saying? Like, what is that coach motivation to try to break down a player?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how can you win if you're trying to break somebody down? And I'm not the type that, okay, like I said, I got a nice life. I'm not the type where you got to try to scare me or say something crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, what they was talking about the other day, how I think Shannon Sharp was talking about how they asked somebody, was his mother a prostitute?
There's Brian.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, that was my first experience when they came to Delaware State. Dude straight up asked me, how many baby mothers you had? How many dogs you got?
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Like, it wasn't even a true introduction. And I was like, dog, I'm gonna keep going. You know what I mean? I'm like, y'all doing that just because I'm at a black college.
Right.
But obviously, that's what they do, because that mentality, that culture spins down.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about racial issues, you talking about 70-plus-year-old white men that grew up in the Jim Crow era. This is what they think of black people.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they see, and this is what they're going for. They're not trying to help nobody do nothing, man. All those rules and regulations and all that stuff that we're trying to do this, we have this in place. It's just like the government. They set stuff up just to say they did it. And if you utilize it, great. If not, to hell with you.
That makes sense what you say, too, because I never understood, for the love of God, why they hired Jim Zorn. He fucking sucked. And it's like, yo,
No.
Why do you hire some of these coaches? Like, because you can even look and you can even tell, like, man, they like, it's like, yo, they hire their homeboys. Like, that they'd have no knowledge, no philosophy of football whatsoever.
But what is Snyder? Snyder is a marketing guru. He took the business in 7 years, and it was bigger than the Yankees.
True. That is true.
He understands marketing
and making money.
You have to don't look at him. Don't look at who he hired. See, that's the problem. We tend to look at the person in front of us. Look at the puppet master. We got to look at the puppet master who's been controlling it. He went old, he went veteran, he went new. He went old, he went veteran, he went new. Look at the pattern since 2001 of the coaches that he hired and why he hired them.
Yeah, can we go through them? Because I'm still trying to figure out why some of these coaches hired you. Like,
it's marketing. It's simply marketing. I got a new toy. Hey, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Hey, I got a new toy. Hey, you're going to Super Bowl. Hey, I got a new toy. And y'all the little kids who get the new toy from the dollar store, and it's the same toy from the dollar store, in a different color. And y'all think, hey, we're gonna win the Super Bowl because we got the new toy that's in red. Hey, we're gonna win the Super Bowl because we got the new toy that's in blue. He does the exact same pattern every time.
It's interesting you said that too, because if y'all noticed with this story that dropped, they pushed Ron River. They pushed Riverboat Ron, the new coach, in front of this whole thing. He's doing all the talking. Now Snyder puts out a statement talking about the culture is going to change and it should have never been this way, et cetera, et cetera. But they put the coach in front of the cameras to talk about this, which I thought was interesting, who is a minority. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? And who is a minority in the same sense. I just thought that was crazy, man. Like, D-Mac.
That's the game.
You know, they've been doing that with Doug Williams. They were doing that with Doug Williams for a while. Like, when it came to things that, you know, they were trying to slide on the rug, they would always throw Doug Williams in the forefront to step up and say something. And
right.
It's like, yo,
and he's being paid well.
Very well.
And
all right. Like I said, give me Doug job. I tell you the same thing. Hey man, we're fighting to be he's a great quarterback.
Doug says that shit every year.
Give him an opportunity. Dude, I can do it, man. Pay me $250,000. I will talk well. I will speak well. I will be that token. Give me that 250 Jeeps.
Now I'm gonna be honest. That Doug Williams is one name that I'm glad didn't come up, and I hope it doesn't come up. Because I was thinking like, yeah. I mean, I know Doug. You know, it's a lot of times, and it could be photo op reasons, but it's a lot of times you see Doug next to Danny. So usually when you next to somebody with fleas, they jump on you.
Well, now hey, look,
as I swat a bug out my face.
Yeah, but now come on. Yeah,
but
you know what I mean, like you know.
But I was hoping
HBCU too. So
yeah.
You know what I mean, he know the business now.
Right. So I'm hoping his name don't come up.
And he's very well aware that he's a black man too. So you know what I mean. He not one of the ones. I don't think, from my perspective and being around him, I don't truly know him, but I don't think he's one of the ones who think he's untouchable like the rest. Like I said, I think it's a realization when you come from HBCU of the system that you are very touchable, and they're gonna throw you under the bus first. You know, so that's like I said, like my concept and my thought process when I got in the league. I'm like, man, I went to Delaware State, man. I was like, they're gonna cut me just because.
Right.
I mean, a story this
I
big.
believe Doug is very well aware.
A story this big, it's a bad look for Snyder not to get in front of it himself. Like that's in itself an admission. That's an admission of guilt. You're putting a coach in front of it that wasn't even there for the duration of these issues.
Wasn't even there.
Right. That in itself is an issue.
I've been working for 4 weeks. What we do?
Yeah, like,
right.
You got to go and talk about it. Like, okay, what am I
like the
say?
coach? The coach is in charge of the football team, not the HR department. Not the organization, the football team. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an admission of guilt in itself.
So my thing is this: how crazy was that club, house, or whatever you call it, the organization, whatever, that the play-by-play man was involved, yo? Like, I mean, it just seems like
I don't know about that one. I don't know.
You know what my thought process of this whole thing, just talking about it and reading the article, like, and I'm sure it probably wasn't. I'm sure they kept it cool, but like, I envision reading this shit and talking about it that, yo, when you walked into that facility, yo, it was just an all-day party. You know what I'm saying? And it probably, I'm sure it wasn't, but it's just reading this shit that the play-by-play guys was involved in all of this shit, and then them sitting under certain steps so that they can see up women dressed. Like you said yesterday, Alex, like, are these dudes 15?
Yeah, it was like it's a frat house. Like it was $1 billion frat house.
Right. That's the picture I imagine, and that's what I get from reading this story. It's like, yo, these are well-paid white dudes, billionaires, millionaires, and like, yo, they're standing under a step so that they can watch the next lady go up and see what's under her damn dress.
When you think you're untouchable, you know what I mean? You do anything that you feel that you can do. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's part of the culture that we have to change, man, as men in general. Because like I say, I think they call it the rape culture. We have a concept that we should be able to control and dominate women. And we're taught it at an early age. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, when you got these older people, they still live by those same rules. You know what I mean? It ain't that serious, but it is. It's a new world. It's a new era. You know what I mean? And women using their leverage, like, nah, cuz you can't just abuse my body and treat me a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Without a repercussion or you know, something happening. You know what I mean? Now, you know, if they sign that disclosure, that's their business. But like I say, some people are looking for that check too. So that's why it gets, like I said, I've just seen it where it gets kind of cloudy. You see what I'm saying? Because you got women who will try to get into situations to get a check. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not, like I said, once again, this is not knocking anybody because it does happen. But I've seen people get in the way to, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this A, B, and C to get a check. Like I said, you come to certain hotels, it's people waiting in the lobby for you. You see what I'm saying? Like they got to put security on each floor so random people, you know, namely women, won't just show up and, you know, try to get into rooms. Because all it takes was, you know, one time I was on the elevator, several athletes, and one of the athletes was like, hey, can y'all wait? And I was like, hold on, cuz you messing me up. Like, I don't need them to wait. and he was like, I need him to wait. And then I thought about it. All it was going to take is for one of them females to report, because the person I was with was a Hall of Famer. All it was going to take is for them to tweet, text, or say somebody touched me in the elevator.
Yep.
It might not have happened, but all it's going to take, and then, oh, yep, you did it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you did it. Yep, you did it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be cautious of all of that, especially when you in a high profile role like that. But I think it's the flip with like people in ownership, like the Snyders and the Jerry Joneses and people in high level positions. I think it's almost the reverse of that, where it's like, yo, if these women are put in positions where they're meant to feel uncomfortable, and it's just them, and they feeling like it's just them. Like, yo, if I say something, yo, they gonna smear me, or I'll never work again because it's me against this high level billionaire or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah,
right. And like you said, they smearing the women right now.
Yeah. When you look at it, it seems,
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's real tough, man.
Yeah, it seems like, man, like it's played as if like chess, pretty much. Like on the big scale of things, at the end of it all, like, you know, they're playing, they're the big pieces on the chessboard, and you know, people at the bottom are just pawns in it. You know,
yeah. Well, that's because you grains of sand, dude. Like everybody can be replaced.
Yeah, you know. So just think about it from a perspective of that Daniel Snyder Weasley ass. Just think about his friends. You know, like Jeffrey Epstein and, you know, and other dudes that, you know, do wild stuff, you know, with each other, and like just act as if like, you know, they have money. So to them it's child's play. But you know what I mean, to the everyday person, like this is that person's life. You know what I mean? Like to go into a stress, you know, culture, spot, or area to work, you know what I mean, and have to be under that type of pressure. Like, yo, that's degrading, and that's sickening, man. Like that's just disgusting.
You
right,
know
but
what?
like I say, when it's been known, so at some point in time, you also got to make a decision. Like, okay, should I even file for this job? You see what I'm saying? Because of the history.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Like, it's not that I said this to y'all yesterday. When everybody was up in arms, like, yo, what's going to come out? I wonder what this story going to be. And my first response was, yo, no matter what it is, I'm not going to be surprised that it's coming from, especially that it's coming from DC. Like, it was nothing that could have came out today or yesterday that would have surprised me. You know what I'm saying? Coming from that organization. Because it's just, and I've always said this to you, Quan, you being a fan, and even during the RG3 era, and all the shit that would leak about him, him and the coach not getting along, and this and that, and him flying in Snyder's private plane. I'm like, yo, this is the only organization where shit like this leaks. Just like you said earlier, D-Mac, y'all had a players only meeting, but yeah, everything that was said in the meeting was in the fucking paper
the next day. God.
So it's like, this is the only organization that this type of shit leaks, and honestly, in this case, it's a good thing. If these women were really done this way, it's a good thing that they're gonna pay for this, hopefully. But yo, I'm not surprised at all that it's come out of this organization. Not at all.
Hey man, I think I said this to you guys literally off the record. He's going to end up selling the team. I guarantee you.
No, he's not.
I'm telling you, like even though Donald
he's gonna keep the Redskin name.
Listen, he can keep that. Let me tell you what. Donald Sterling fought it tooth and nail to sell the Clippers, right? But he walked away $2 billion richer. I guarantee.
This is my only thing against that, Alex. If it would have came out yesterday that there's a claim of him, then okay. But only thing that was really mentioned of him,
he ain't been touched.
Yeah, only thing that was really mentioned in him in this article was him and Jay Gruden in a sex-filled, drug-filled party.
Dude, this is round one.
Now,
you think this the first? This is it?
Now,
they said Snyder was in that party with Jay Green was at the one that said he was that little girl smoking weed or something.
I don't know if it was.
Hilarious.
I don't know if it was that party, but they said that was the only claim that of Snyder. So the two top people in that organization, Bruce Allen and Snyder, their name haven't been linked yet. You're right, it's yet. So that's the only thing that has me a little skeptical of him being pushed to sell the team. Now, the other claims have all been basically racial. Like, so Donald Sterling, he's caught on film saying something racial. The dude Richardson that owned that used to own the Panthers, it was racial. So they caught it. So they pushed him out. It's going to take some. I feel like it's going to take like a strong claim and allegation that Snyder was a part of. Even in the article, they got text messages.
But
and
he doesn't go and get that law firm that represented Judge Kavanaugh if he ain't a little shook. You know
he shook.
saying?
I think he shook for sure. He shook for sure.
He a billionaire. He gonna protect his assets, man. But with $250,000, shut anybody up. You see what I'm saying? That's the going rate for most disclosures because people think a $250,000 is a lot of money until you get it.
Let me ask you this: if Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, which released this story, Jeff Bezos, the wealthiest man in the world, if he lives in DC, if he went to Snyder and said, "Here's $5 billion cash," just like Steve Ballmer did with the Clippers and Sterling, here's $2 billion. Here's cash. Snyder's taking that money.
Where do I?
He ain't turning that around.
No,
he's not.
You don't think he'll take it?
Cash?
You gotta understand what.
You don't think he's gonna listen?
Understand what comes with the power of being a part of the NFL. Understand the leverage that comes. It's the business. Like I said, when you in. It's a certain swag that come with it. It's a certain. Like I said, when I was playing, I could walk into places and I tell people, you know what I mean. And I wasn't one to brag or say who or what I did. But when they found out, they was like, "Why didn't you say something?"
Let me.
I'm like, dog, I don't expect you to know me.
Let me cut you off on that. There's plenty of times that we was looking at you like, nigga, tell this dude in front of this club who you are so we can walk through this damn gate and don't have to wait this line.
It's cold outside.
Well, never me, man. Like I said, you talking about he's not gonna sell it because, like I said, of the prestige that comes with it. The leverage that comes with it. Like I said, until he gets his hand caught in the cookie jar, he's not moving nowhere. And he's lawyering up because, like I said, the smallest allegations of somebody saying something, all he gonna do is send them, like I said, $250,000, that's nothing. That's the basic.
Well, let me say this:
and you ain't never had that money, and you disappeared. You go.
Those other owners are powerful also, especially Jerry Jones. Bezos placing a call to those other owners and saying, "Look, I want in." That also gets it done because they can push him out.
Yeah,
like they can push him out
now
too.
The owners can push him out.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
now the owners can, like I said. Now that, like I said, if he pissed off enough people, now he kind of chilled the last few years, from my understanding. But when, like I said, when he first got in the business, he was pissing a whole bunch of people off. So now I think, like I said, he's a little older, he's a little bit more settled. He's still doing what he do, obviously. But for the other owners, I'm pretty sure he got dirt on them as well. Yeah. Like I said, look how many owners done show. You got Kraft down with some prostitutes. You got the dude in Indianapolis smoking coke with some prostitutes. That's the billionaire boys club, man.
That's I think it's gonna be a domino effect. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is bad, but just think about all the rest of 30 of those owners. You know what I mean?
Yo, but the NBA pushed out Sterling and he ain't ratting nobody else out. He took his $2 billion cash and walked into the sunset.
Sterling was a lot older too. So this is the thing that I'm kind of with the NBA. This is the case that I'm kind of putting next to or comparing to the recent shit with Dallas and Mark Cuban. It was same kind of allegations that it was some and they ain't pushed Mark out. Mark kind of fell back and he said
Cuban has never been hated like Dan Snyder's.
No, I agree with you. I feel like this. I feel like it's going to take one of these two things. It's going to be either his name gets linked and tied to one of these women, and it's strong case. They got text messages or pictures of him tied up or some shit, doing some kinky ass shit.
He too smart for all that, man. He too smart. If he ain't been caught now, he ain't gonna get caught.
Or it's gonna take the other owners to feel like he's too hot right now. He's causing he's too bad for the brand right now.
Not even See, but y'all thinking like fans and people. No, is he bad for business? That's all it comes down to.
Right?
Is he bad for business? Is he bringing money into the organization? It's all about business. They could care less about what he did.
But like you said,
like I said, they doing all the same thing.
Fandom is already down. Fandom's already down. So like he is bad for business.
Yeah.
He's proven he's bad for business, and so this is, if he's linked to this in any way, maybe he survives it. Maybe he keeps the team. But
the franchise
how is
he is linked to it.
how is he not linked to it? Like,
but that's my point.
How are you the only one that don't know what's going on? You the only
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That was the interesting part about today. Like, bro, you push the newest person in your organization to the forefront. Like, yo, you handle that. You step in front and talk. And he ain't been there, like D-Mac said, but for 4 weeks. I don't know what the hell going on. So that's the thing. It's like, yo, you that's his claim, and I'm sure, you know.
And look, and then it proves that he getting that check and what he doing. He talking. Like I told you, that check, boy, you do amazing things. But he ain't back down. He ain't say I wasn't here. He was like, well, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna say, what y'all get your what paper? I'm gonna read this paper right here. All right, this is what I'm supposed to say. Okay. I'm telling you, look, give me that 250. Oh, give me that 250,000. Hey, this is the greatest organization ever. He the greatest person. Look, man, that check make people talk.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you don't even think $5 billion. Like, come on, $5 billion. I gotta listen. Listen.
I agree. Oh. I agree with what Max said. I think
the power that comes with it. It's the power. Yeah,
I can see that.
But he is not more powerful than Jeff Bezos
because
no.
But what I'm saying, but I'm talking about as the owner. Like I said,
the Shield ain't more powerful than Bezos.
I am the owner of the Washington. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know, bro.
So it's a matter of leverage. You can give me all the money, then he's just a regular dude. Nobody's looking at him. He's not in the paper. You can't don't think he ain't got no ego now. Think about when he first got his name was in the paper more than the players in some situations. He don't think he doesn't have an ego. I don't think he's not narcissistic.
I can see it from that perspective.
He wants that leverage. He wants that power. When I walk, I got a squad of business suits around me. I got a squad of lawyers walking with me. I got a squad of whoever. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're a regular dude, just got billions of dollars. You ain't got that. You just a regular dude with billions of dollars. Don't nobody know who you are.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
What are the chances that the next owner of the Washingtons is a black person?
There's no black person in America that has enough cash to buy the Redskins outright.
Zero.
Yeah.
There's a 0% chance.
They can always put their money together, but
Oprah's the wealthiest black person in the country, and she doesn't have enough.
I see zero.
But this is the thing. It's going to take, from my perspective, it's going to take another 10 to 15 years before you even get a black GM to a black owner in the NFL. I told you, the dinosaurs have to die first. The dinosaurs ain't dying. They 70, 80 years old, so it's going to be another. Then it has to flip over, or give it to their kids. Their kids are going to be a little bit more liberal, if that's the word for them, where they don't give a damn. They're going to do all right. You know football. We need you in this position to play football.
And it's not just the money. All the pro leagues have to vote you in. So not only do you got to be liquid enough to get in, they got to vote you in.
Yeah. What about Magic? What about Magic Johnson?
Magic doesn't have enough money to own a pro football team. Magic couldn't buy the Lakers outright. So
he had some stake in the Lakers, the Dodgers.
He did.
I mean, he gotta have something to put on it.
Peaches,
and he's got businesses out in this area.
No, Magic.
He had a small minority stake.
Stocks. Magic got in, got his money, and got out.
His stake in the Lakers was worth.
See his name on it.
His stake in the Lakers, he sold for $25 million. The Lakers is worth $4.1 billion.
This is it would take a group, like Max said, it would take a investment group, maybe headed by Magic Johnson.
You go get all the billionaires. You know what I mean? Get Oprah, get Bob Johnson. You know what I mean? Tell them come to the table. You know, Michael Jordan, and then it might be a possibility.
He's got a movie theater right down the street from the stadium, so you know he like doing business in that area.
But like Alex said, they gonna have to vote. They gotta vote your ass in too. And like Max said, do them dinosaurs want a brother in that meeting?
No,
No, they don't.
Magic got in with the Dodgers because of the Guggenheim partners. That's why he got in with the Dodgers. And he's a big face in LA. There's publicity. There's a lot of other reasons why he got
Magic,
in with
like
those
say,
dudes.
think business. Think business. Magic is a brand that everybody loves.
And he is a billionaire,
business.
but
what other better candidate?
I don't know about it, but
I mean, it's not LA. That's the only thing that doesn't fit. It's not LA. But other than that, I mean, shit. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, DC.
They like them. We like them. Let's go.
If I was Magic Johnson, I wouldn't come to DC.
No, it's too conservative. No, it's too conservative, man. Nobody, you gotta understand. Nobody really likes this area as a sports area, even though we actually have pretty decent sports, and we actually produce a lot of college and the professional athletes. But actually, as a franchise, no, nobody. It's DC's not a city, you know, especially after the Dream era. DC's not a city people really want to come to.
For those that don't know what Dream is, it's only the greatest nightclub ever.
Nah, quite H2O was actually better than Dream.
H2O was the shit. H2O was
H2O was H2O. A lot of brothers were swimming in the water.
Hey, dog, listen, Dream. When Dream first opened, just the allure of it, yo, it was just
Dream was tight too. Yeah,
that first night going with like that shit.
Coming
First
from other parts of the country to come to Dream and love.
Yo, Brandon looked at that shit, was like, damn.
Yeah, I walked up the steps like, oh shit.
Let's well, let's not go too far on a tangent, given this is a more serious episode.
Yeah. Word. But I mean,
to wrap it up, man, Darnerien, do you think the culture of the football team in DC is gonna improve after all of this, or do you think it'll be just business as usual after the media stuff dies down?
It's been the same thing. It's just a matter of when it gets exposed. I don't think anything's going to change. Like I said, until management and leadership change, you get the same thing. You know what I mean? You can paint the zebra whatever color you want it. It's still a horse with black and white stripes.
And at the end of the day, he's still
slapping
a weasel.
Slapping lipstick on a pig. So, I think I'm done. I think I don't have any more questions. But I did want to give you an opportunity because we didn't last time to let you push your brand, D-Mac. Let the people know what you're doing, where they can find you, how they can find you, how they can get in touch with you, and all of that good stuff.
Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah. So my main things is personal training. If those in the region, obviously I'm a personal trainer. Athletic, sports, fitness. I do all that. You can find me at Coach McCants on all platforms, and then of course my foundation, which I'm definitely need everybody help. My foundation is based off literacy, but literacy that's fighting delinquency. What we have to understand is if before the third grade we're learning to read, and after the third grade we're reading to learn. And if we're not able to read to learn, then that's where we get the behavior issues. When you get the behavior issues, they put you out of school, they discipline you, and they're not teaching you. So now we fall behind. Unfortunately, that falls on a lot of the African American boys. Only 55% of them are graduating high school. So what else is there to do? Let alone go to college. So what ends up happening is we have a large population that's ended up on welfare, in poverty, or in jail. So to help eliminate that, we're fighting delinquency. So I have a program called findmefoundation.org. You can go on there. We need donations. What we're trying to do by the end of the summer is give away 100 books. I know the COVID thing, so I'm still working that part out as far as what's legal. But for the most part, we're trying to get these kids engaged. So I need young men, brown, black men to start being engaged on social media. Take a picture of yourself, take a picture reading to your kids, hashtag it, Finding Me Foundation. So they can see us more than with a ball in our hand, with a mic in our hand, and start seeing us with books in our hand, and that we're reading and taking care of our kids. Because that image, social media is the way. That image plays a major factor in the kids who don't have a male role model, who don't have a male figure in their life. I believe seeing other people reading books like, hey, maybe I should get this. And I'm trying to start libraries, not just have a whole bunch of video games that they sitting there playing all day, where they actually engage in reading. So that is what my program is based off of, and we're trying to get some things together because the way it's looking, that going back to school, some kids may not be going back to school till January. So my goal is to try to keep them engaged. I'm online, Facebook, where I do an online story time where I read to the kids or whoever chimes in, and they can go in and check that out. So that's what I'm doing. Those are the two biggest things that I do right now.
It's impressive, man. I want to thank you again for coming on and providing just some additional insight to football and to the Washington organization, man. Thank you.
We appreciate you,
Mac.
Mac.
Thank you,
As
bro.
always,
Thank you so
man.
much.
So.
Absolutely, man.
It's always fun getting on these things, man. I like these, man. I don't know if I can do it all the time, but it's fun getting on. I got a lot of stories to tell, man.
Well, I'm sure. Hey, look, I'm sure
We'll have you on.
We'll be having you back, man.
Absolutely.
You know, it was crazy. It was crazy yesterday. I was just about to text you, and then you text me with the story. I was like, yo, about to hit you. You already know. So we appreciate you, man, or the short notice. It's always a pleasure, man, and come back and see us, and we'll get behind that your organization, man, and we see what we can do and help that situation out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I need some money. Give me some money.
Gotcha.
Definitely a support, man.
All right, fellas.